right, thanks, Ron. 5:02 right now. We begin with continuing coverage this morning of a possible government shutdown. President Barack Obama has now signed a temporary spending cut bill to prevent the government from shutting down, but it's only buying us 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's costing us $4 billion for those 2 weeks. $4 billion in cuts went through the Senate yesterday with minimal opposition. Vice President Joe Biden will start negotiations as early as today on a broader long-term spending bill, and he'll try to find common ground with some GOP leaders determined to cut tens of billions of dollars more. One yay vote for the stopgap motion was our very own Louisiana Congressman John Fleming.
And he joins us live on the phone from D.C. to talk more about this extension and what it means and where he thinks we're headed. Congressman?
Good morning, Doug and Summer. How are you doing this morning?
Good. Thank you so much for joining us. So in your opinion, did we go far enough with the spending cut?
Well, as you know, 2 weeks ago, approximately, we passed really the first spending cut ever in government, if you want to think about it. It was a continuing resolution to last 6 months to take us all the way to the end of the fiscal year because, unfortunately, Democrats in Congress last year did not even submit a budget, so we're sort of having to go in there and fix some problems that were left open. But that was $100 billion off of FY11 level, $61 billion off of FY10. The problem is that the Senate only had a week or two to take that up. They just didn't have time. So we came together in a bipartisan way and agreed on a temporary continuing resolution for 2 weeks to give them time to take it up. And we broke below the FY10 levels by having additional cuts of $2 billion per week for a total of $4 billion.
Well, Congressman, 2 weeks' time, is that enough time to come up with, I guess, more of a permanent solution? It's not like it's going to be permanent, because this is not the first time we've gone down this road before.
Well, it really is, because remember, we did this 2 weeks ago, and now they have another 6. And while I think they kind of are wasting time, they could have already been on this. There's no really excuses at this point. They got 2 weeks from this point. Vice President Biden has agreed to be kind of the negotiator. And so, you know, we're not going to continue small CRs, even though this one small CR we did is in line with the magnitude of cuts in the long term we're going to have. But we can't run government on small continuing resolutions. It's way too disruptive. So I don't see any support for piecemealing this thing. It's now or never. And we're also up against some very significant other issues like the debt limits and so forth pretty soon.
Congressman, real quick, just to kind of shift gears on you before we cut loose here. Gas price in D.C., what did you see this morning or yesterday on the way home from work?
Well, of course, I walk to work most days.
There you go.
So
That's a good
I haven't filled a gas tank in quite some time.
I
but
guess
I understand.
my question is just your thoughts on where we're headed. I mean, even the cheap place by my house looks like it's gone up a buck in the last couple of 3 weeks.
I think this points out how dependent we are on foreign oil, because you know, when you have a little disruption, perhaps a little panic in Libya, our prices spike. It's time that we get a decent energy policy and become more energy independent. We wouldn't have to face these situations.
All right, Congressman Fleming, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
6:06, your time there in D.C. Hopefully we didn't get you up too early this morning, sir. Thank you for your time. All right, again, that's Congressman Fleming. We'll continue to follow that, 2 weeks to get it done and get something more permanent in place to prevent us being in the same situation 2 weeks from now.
I think 40 cents in the last, not even a week yet for me in Bossier City. What about you?
Yes, about 50, 60 cents in about a week's time.